Right, Mark, on this one, what are we doing again?
Hello, welcome back to the renovation project here in Portugal, where we have yet more exciting things happening. It feels like there is new things happening left, right and centre these days, which is all very exciting indeed, because it all just means progress. Progress on this crazy, long, sometimes tiring, often tedious project. As you'll know from the title of the video, today's all about electrics. We're starting the first fix, which means running a load of cables, chiseling out a bunch of walls, installing a bunch of boxes, and things like that. And we've enlisted the help of somebody with some actual skills. Good morning. Mark, welcome to the show, I guess.
Yes, good morning to you, sir. How are you doing on this very fine day? We've actually got a bit of sunshine today.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, for the
nice
change.
Day for a bit of work inside.
Absolutely.
Can you give us a very brief intro to what we're doing today? First fix electrics.
We are going to do some first fixing. So we're going to be putting boxes in today. We're going to be cementing them in the wall because there's no other option on these old properties. And then once those have dried, we will go off and come back and put the tubing in and the wiring in for the system as well. So that will be done very, very quickly.
Fantastic.
And, that's about it, really. That's
so it's a pretty straightforward thing at the beginning of the electrics process. Boxes, cables.
Boxes and cables. That's basically it. And also finding a way of securing it to the wall, which I will point out to you at a later time.
Brilliant.
And yes, and then that will be ready for plastering over, to which when that's done I can come back and second fix it all out.
And of course we've brought you in because you know what you're doing. You're a professional.
I am.
Which is a rare occurrence around here,
yes.
To have a professional or any kind of professionalism.
So yes, I am a professional, and I deal with all the certification and everything else that's required.
And so you're going to come in and basically show us how it's done properly so that we can then continue on and do some of it under our own steam.
That is the plan.
And then we'll get you back to do the important stuff like circuit boards and
so
off.
I will run through it all with you, of how to put the boxes in, what you need to put the boxes in, how we're going to fix the tubes to the wall, how we're going to cable it, where do the cables come from and where they go to. And I'll do that, and you can repeat that then pretty much on every other room as you go along, so you can do it at your own pace.
Brilliant.
It does me out of a job, but I don't mind. And I'll help you guys here and help you do as much as you possibly can for yourself.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. We look forward to cracking on soon.
We, of course, are not using concrete or cement. We are using NHL and sand. So lime, semi-breathable by lime standards, so that we don't get the moisture trapped in the wall.
Do you have any thoughts? Are you excited for electrics happening right before your very eyes without you doing all the work?
Yeah, it's nice to watch someone else work for a change. Bring it out of it if you need.
Yeah, I can't bring it out too far, but...
What orientation are we going here? It looks like...
That one's not correct either.
This one?
Should be
No, the,
in from above.
In from above.
So
this it needs to go on the wrong side, on the other side then, doesn't it?
yeah, it's right up. The boxes are mixed up.
Yeah, they got
somewhere along the way, so that's okay.
You can adjust.
Right, yeah, adjust. I shall adjust the boxes.
Okay.
In the case, yeah. Yeah. Put the cables and tubes.
Yeah. just not put it into the boxes.
But just not and drill the holes up.
Yeah. That's easy. Right, do this one, because this one's a bit slightly easier one. Oh, you already started.
Okay, we've done some work. We've chiseled out a bunch of holes for all of our socket boxes. Mark has made up all of these various different combinations and configurations of boxes with a little bit of conduit that joins them together. So we've got a bunch of double socket areas around the room. Where I'm standing at the moment, this is going to be our kind of relaxation bar wine appreciation zone. And then down here where Kylie's tidying up, as she likes to do, that's going to be like our lounge TV area. So lots of sockets for all of the kind of electrical things that we need to plug in and turn on. We put in all the boxes today so that they've got time to dry before we try and fiddle around with the cables tomorrow. Can you stop the sweeping? It's very loud. Thank you. I think we're going to take a break for lunch now and then maybe move on to some of the light stuff, and we'll talk through that as we go. So Mark, can you explain what this box is? It's different to the other boxes that we're working with.
We have a joint box, well suitable for the lighting in a room. The idea is if you've got 4 or more multiple lights, you can bring it back to a joint box, which normally goes above the light switch. Mm-hmm. With this feature, we can incorporate all the wiring from downlighters, LED lighting, etc., wall lights and things, all bring it back to a box. We can also put controllers in the box as well, so you can connect your smartphone to bring on individual lights. So it's always here in European wiring standards to bring the wiring back to a joint box, which goes flush in the wall at high level, and then your light switch will be down here. This joint box is fed from the circuit board on its own circuit, and we have one of these in every room.
So it's different to how they would do it in the UK, where you kind of take the feed to the switch and then you kind of take the feed to the light and then you kind of daisy chain them around.
You can do, or they have what they call a 3-plate system in the UK, where you take the mains from the circuit board to the first light. Then you take another cable from the light down to the switch. That's called 3-plate in the UK. They don't have that principle here because they don't have permanent lives at the lights. They only have one cable at the lights. We don't want permanent lives at the lights. It confuses everybody. Yeah. So the European wiring system is slightly better in that respect because you don't have all these permanent lives going everywhere. Mm-hmm. They're all contained in a nice flush-mounted joint box.
And does that mean that if you wanted to change something in future, it's easier to do that?
Absolutely. Because of the European wiring standards, everything is run in tube, in flexible conduit. This. And so you can install all the installation without any cable. The system is really good. And as you say, if you want to change anything, if for instance you've got a 3-core cable going to a light, we can change it for a 4-core cable. So we can switch other things on that light as required. So it's a really easy system to adopt. Absolutely spot on. Onwards and upwards.
Absolutely.
Lots to do.
Yeah, always.
It's a really nice soft stone, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. And then the switch will go about here. Ah, yeah, you marked it there already,
Yeah,
the angle
started.
grinder. Yeah, perfect.
No dual wiring it.
That's what they were talking about. At the electrical store, I struggled with some of the translation because I started off talking to the guy who doesn't speak any English, and he's like, "Do you want the tubes with or without this thing?" And I didn't know what the word was.
And what is the with or without what?
Gear, which means like a guide,
Yes.
I guess is what it means.
Oh.
So for pull through.
Aha, okay.
So if you've got a long length of this,
Yeah.
you have a guide already through. It's like
Ah,
cable on
right.
and
Yeah, and pull it through.
Now
Okay,
it makes
got
sense.
Got it.
We don't need to worry about it.
So this is the socket cable, right? The 2.5
This is
mil.
socket cable, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get a lighting one in as well, but I'm just doing the socket.
Yeah, sounds good. just like when we did the plumbing.
Okay, keep going. You keep pulling.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm sticking it through the hole.
Okay, good.
You get it?
Yeah, it does.
I can't see it yet. Okay, I got it now.
Where? It's Narnia,
Just
that
a
wall
thick
is.
wall. It takes a bit to get it over.
I'll do. I'll be ready for tomorrow.
Okay.
Cool.
Whew, one.
One. There you go.
Fancy.
We got it.
Yeah, that's about right.
Now you're going to tape the infamous how to strip a cable. We just score it round very gently and bend it. Score it and bend it all the way around. Not too deep, just enough.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
Yes, bit of a twist.
Oh,
It's coming off.
you've done that before. I mean, you've done it literally 30 seconds ago, but you've definitely done that before.
I'll hold this in. So we just run another piece of 3/4
Right.
from this box down to here.
Okay.
That gives us one permanent live
Yep.
and two switch wires. The switch wire, one switch
okay,
wire for
got you.
one switch
Yeah.
wire for
Okay, got it.
Oh, so you're just mixing the colours up as compared to what they would
what
normally
I'll do
be.
is I'll sleeve over the colours eventually,
Okay.
so that they all respond to the right colours.
Yep. Got it.
But that's all we do.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Okay.
Keep it basic.
Yep.
Put it back in. Here comes the rain again.
Oh no, really?
Oh, that's better. Now I can see what I'm doing.
Perfecto.
Pretty.
He's a good man, you see. I don't like all the cement in the boxes. I always clean them out.
So this is a really
The infamous
nice,
blue tube.
nice, simple way of attaching all the cables. We've got a screw with a washer and a cable tie, and that will go in there like that. And then we just clip that to the wall. So there we go. That is the end of day one of our first of the first fix in the lounge / bar area. We got all of the socket boxes in, we got the light switch in for the 2 zones, and we got a bunch of cable ties in the wall for securing all of the tubes or the conduit too.
So you did not get the light switch in, you got the light back box in.
Yeah, the light thing. It's the end of the day. Come on, give me a break. Let's discuss with Kylie, who has had some previous electrical experience, to see what we learned today.
So the biggest interesting thing that we learnt today, in comparison to UK electrical rigs, is there are no safe zones when it comes to wiring here.
Yeah, I was absolutely shocked by that.
So I'll explain if you don't know what the UK rigs are. If you're having a socket like this, the safe zone is horizontal and vertical.
Above and below vertical, yes.
Yes, horizontal from that service point. There's a safe zone, I think it's 150 mil each side of the corner, and then 150 mil at the top. None of that applies in Portugal. You can go diagonal if you want. So in this instance, let's just talk about these sockets. We're going to, this is the cable, the 2.5 mil cable for this socket. So it's going to come into one of these 2 top holes. Then the exit cable is going to come down here and then across here to these cable ties, around here to this one, and then this one is going to come down a bit and go across to that one. Now, this would be considered out of the safe zone in UK because it's not horizontal. That one's actually okay. So yeah, that's interesting.
And the idea of this whole safe zone thing is so that you know where you can or cannot attach things into the wall. Like if you wanted to put a piece of art and screw it into the stone wall, you would want to be pretty confident that there's no cable there. And so in the UK at least, they have this safe zone thing as a logical way of knowing where the cables are and where they are not.
The second thing I learned is about the lighting circuits in any room where there are 2 or more fittings. So this room is going to have a lot of fittings.
A lot of lights.
A lot of lights. And we're going to have a double switch. The double switch will go here. But this is the interesting thing, what I would call a junction box. So the main feed comes into there, a feed comes down to the switch, and then from that main feed it goes out to each of the service points. And the wiring of this is very different to how I would have done it in the UK. The genius thing that Mark does, that I can't really say how genius this is, because it's genius, is this.
Yeah, for some time now, we have been racking our brains working out how are we going to fix things like attach stuff to these stone walls, because the stones are pretty hard, although some of them we learned today are quite soft, and we can't use metal fixings because of the lime that we're going to be putting on, the lime plaster or the lime pointing. The lime corrodes the metal and then it kind of potentially could rust and discolor, which would be bad. But Mark showed us this genius solution where you kind of you drill a hole, you put a plug, you put a powder coated screw, which is usually used for plasterboard, so it's less likely to rust. Of course they can rust if they get lots of moisture on them, but then all the cables are kind of held in place with plastic cable ties. Very, very cool, really simple, elegant solution. It means you only need to drill a few holes and then you can kind of clamp all the cables in place and then we're good to go. So a good first day. We've got more to come tomorrow.
It's very fiddly.
Is it?
Just so you know.
Everything's fiddly.
Yeah. It's just what I was saying.
Look at it go.
Oh.
Whoa, electrician in them.
It's a great system though.
Yeah.
It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah, really nice and simple.
Yeah. Keep it simple, we like it.
Can you maybe assist really?
I can. How's that? See, I helped. I'm an electrician's assistant in the making.
In between the two of you, should get spot on.
Yeah, that'll be okay. Okay. Happy with that, like that? Too late. So we're done.
Well,
this
This-
part of it is done.
yeah. So I'll just walk you through what we've got. We've got some Cat 6 running from here to here. This is a line for Cat 6 to go upstairs, but because this ceiling is going to stay exposed for a very long time, we're just going to clip it up into there when we do the plastering, and later when we do the subfloor upstairs, we can pass it through and work out where it goes.
So this is our networking cable.
Networking, yes, so internet-y stuff. And then the rest of it is sockets. We have light switches and stuff.
You're doing one of those dances again.
Similarly, this is a wall light that we will clip to our final location before we plaster. There's some big nails that we need to take out, and there's also some cement render and a bits of other things that we need to do, so probably a day's work in here, and then we can plaster. And our hope is that because the hemp is so fibrous, we can just ball it up, clump it on, and it will stick to the wall and hold these guys in place.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. I guess we'll learn if that works. I don't see why it wouldn't. And again, because we're using the hemp, one of the reasons we're using the hemp is to be able to come out this far. So all of this is clipped to the wall rather than channeled into the wall. The sockets, or the back boxes, we channeled in because it was just easy. Yeah, I guess we'll see whether that works as well.
So this was just a day and a half with the three of us, although sometimes I was filming and sometimes Mark was kind of observing and teaching and showing us all the things that we need to do. So I think with the two of us, we could probably do a room this size with this many sockets and light switches and joint boxes and all that kind of stuff, probably within about 2 days, which is a good piece of knowledge to have. Whilst we might be being a little ambitious, we've calculated that there is about 5 weeks before Christmas. And so we're setting ourselves a mini goal to have the first fix done in all the rooms downstairs.
And plastered.
All the rooms downstairs first fixed and with their first coat of plaster on, and then we can have not just a small celebration, but a large celebration at Christmas time. We're also working on a bit of a special video for around about that kind of time as well, so do stay tuned for that. But I think this is a job well done. It's, it doesn't look great, but it's all going to be hidden, so it doesn't really matter. But it's nice to feel like we're making progress and we're actually installing things now, rather than just ripping stuff out. So that's it for this episode. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye!